Hi, coming to you from Thorpe Woodlands, where we've got an Extinction Rebellion with local residents memorial service for the plant and animal species that will be lost as a result of the housing development that's going to be built in these beautiful woodlands. So rather than look at my place, you can look at some of the woodlands that we've got around here. If I can work out how to turn this around. There we go. So yeah, coming to Thorpe Woodlands. What a wonderful place this is. It's a county wildlife site, and the travesty of it is they're planning to build 300 homes on it. So we've come down here today for a memorial service for all the lost plant and animal species that will result from the housing development. We've got the wren, the hazel, the bat, the wood sorrel. All these species will be lost in this part of the world if these woodlands go. And we just want to make sure that people are aware of this, really. There's a small number of elite people that will benefit from this housing development from the point of view of money earned. This is a county wildlife site. It's home to a great diversity of plant and animal species. Wonderful, wonderful woodland that's been enjoyed by local residents that have grown up in the area all the way through to adulthood. And it's going to be cut down for 300 homes. In fact, the felling has already started. So we're down here today in a socially distant manner, just to protest, make sure we bear witness to the destruction that's going on. You can see some of it back there, some of the logging that's happened over the last few months, even during social distancing stuff. The newts will be lost. There's great crested newts that live in these areas. And sadly, their habitat's going to be destroyed. So we'll just take a wander up here. We've got a really good turnout today, actually. There's a lot of people that have turned out in the sunshine, and everyone's being really careful on the social distancing front. Make sure that we're not going to get anyone ill. Some wonderful signs that I'll show you in a minute that have come out. People have been really creative during lockdown, turned up with flags and new banners. And as I say, just if you didn't join earlier, this is all about the Thorpe Woodlands housing development, which the Mayhew family are spearheading. Jerome Mayhew's MP for Broadland. So they want to turn this woodland, along with some companies they're working with dubious credentials, into alleged dubious credentials, I should say, into a housing development for 300 houses. Home to many rare species of plants and animals. It's a county wildlife site. The local residents, but Broadland District Council was against this development. Local residents are against this development. There's no one that lives locally that is for this development. So what happened was when the planning permission was turned down by Broadland District Council and the local planning department, of course money talks, doesn't it? So they wrote to the central planning department in London, who approved it. And I'm not going to speculate at what went on in the back rooms about that, but anyway, yeah. So a completely disconnected planning department who haven't got a clue about local residents' wishes or the wishes of Broadland District Council approved the development. So we're here for a memorial for species that will be lost. Thanks, Jim. Brilliant. And what's incredible is the failure of local democracy that happens in these situations. No, I was just talking to a local resident, and he said he moved here 18 months ago, and one of the lovely things was having this woodland on his doorstep for him and his children, and it's all going to get cut down. Well, a lot of it's going to get cut down. They declare they're going to convert some of it into a park, but I'm sorry, it just won't be the same. And it certainly won't include the same level of biodiversity we have at the moment. So we want to save these woodlands, not only for ourselves and local residents, but for all the plant and animal species that live here. And as you can see, there's a lot of people that care really deeply. We've talked to some of the local residents today, and they're all really supportive, coming out and offering us water and stuff, which, you know, we brought our own water because we don't want to get on the wrong side of the social distancing guidelines. But yeah, really good turnout. RIP song thrush, another species that will go as a result of the development. Song thrush, you don't see them as much. When I was a kid, you used to see song thrushes so much. And now we're not going to see them again as much. Speedwell, little plant, the speedwell, which grows in the woods. Thanks, Leslie. Beautiful beech woodlands, mixed trees this, mixed broadleaf deciduous. You've got all sorts going on, with a bit of plantation as well mixed in. The hedgehogs, you've got hedgehog habitat around here, goldcrests, siskin, redwing. Beautiful. Thank you for coming. So much is going to be lost if they go ahead with this development. We've got brownfield sites, we've got agricultural lands, which is monocultures. Build on them if you really need to. Don't cut down our last vestiges of ancient woodland, or what could be classed as ancient woodland. Blackcaps, nocturnal bats, tawny owls. Let's listen to Barbara for a bit.
Blackbird, sparrowhawk, blackcap, tawny owl, blue-tip, wren, goldfinch, tree creeper, goldcrest, siskin, great tit, redwing, nuthatch, great-crested newt, robin, groundsnake, sunthrush, pepper-scale bat, round long-eared bat, Turkish bat, maple, roe deer, oak, ash, beech, hazel, willow, honeysuckle, heather, bellheather, meadow thistle, deep capestraw, deep milkworm, red sedge, midland hawthorn, red sorrel, dun violet, deep speedwell, forest beech. If you want to oppose this development, write to the co-owner of the wood, Jerome Mayhew, MP for Broadland, or your local MP, Craig Smith. Whose wood? Our wood. Whose wood? Our wood. Whose wood? Our wood. Whose wood? Our wood. Extinction!
Rebellion!
Extinction!
Rebellion!
Extinction!
Rebellion! So you just heard a list of the species that are all going to be threatened in this local area because of the development. There is a petition which I can post up a link to later for those that are asking what you can do. So we'd like to see people write to their MPs. You know, writing letters doesn't always have the best effect, but we need to know that these people need to know that we're going to bear witness to this. It's not going unlooked at. They can't just get away with the destruction of nature in the same way anymore. So yeah, please do write to Jerome Mayhew. I mean, his family is heavily invested in this, but also Chloe Smith if you're in Norwich, Clive Lewis. Just make your voice heard. There's a petition that we've got, which has got, I think, probably coming up to 1,000 signatures, which we can get the signature on as well a bit later. I'll put a link up to a bit later. But yeah, it's great that we've got a good turnout today. I'm really grateful for everyone that's shown up with so much colour for this memorial to lost species. And we're going to keep campaigning for as long as it takes to get this housing development cancelled. It just seems ludicrous that when we've got a climate crisis with emissions still going up despite the temporary dip that we'll have due to COVID, the biodiversity loss we're seeing around the country, that we're still thinking that we can cut down county wildlife sites to build houses. So we're just making sure that our voices are heard on it, trying to do something about it, because you feel powerless at times. But do you know what? If enough people get out on the streets, if enough people make their voices heard, then we can change things. And we know that works because we've seen it happen in other movements. Just need the volume of people getting out there and saying, no, this is not right. You can't keep doing this. We don't support you. We can't keep jeopardising the future for our children, for the animals and plants we share the world with, for the sake of money in the pockets for a very limited number of people, the real super elite. So anyway, I'm just going to walk into the woods quickly and show you a little bit of the woods that we're trying to save. See just how beautiful this is. actually a really good woodland because it's got lots of deadwood in as well, which is excellent for biodiversity. So you've got standing deadwood, so all the beetles and insects can thrive on that. And then obviously the birds and mammals feed on them. So it's quite a nice diverse woodland with lots of broadleaf trees as well as some conifers mixed in there as well. And you know what, it's lovely and cool in this hot day. Really peaceful, even though it's only about 20 metres from the road I am. Suddenly the sense of peace is really quite pointed. It's beautiful. So there's a little snippet of what we're trying to say today, what we're campaigning for today. You can hear some of those species chattering away in the treetops. I think there's some magpies or jays arguing over there. A blackbird jumping around in the leaves looking for food. It's a beautiful piece of woodland. And we really need to preserve these small, but we don't have that much in Norfolk like this. Lovely broadleaf stuff, so we need to preserve anything we can. Okay, there's a little snippet of the protest. We're going to be here for about another half hour or so, I think. It's been wonderful seeing the reactions from some of the local residents and drivers going past, actually. A lot of waves, a lot of thumbs up, a lot of support. So again, this is so obvious that this is not for the benefit of the local residents. Broadland District Council don't want it. It's for the benefit of a really small portion of society that will grow even richer than they already are. For the sake of our future, for the sake of plant future, for the sake of animals' future. It's really not the direction we should be going. So enormous gratitude to everyone that's turned up today. Signing off for the time being, and yeah, we'll post up some links later for stuff. Thanks very much, everyone.